It is Thursday, the 19th day of May 2022, about 80 days to the much anticipated August 9th general elections. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. We are also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube on Hope TV Kenya. Let's begin. Former Highway Secondary School Principal Patrick Maritim has told the court that Kapseret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi did not sit his KCSE exams at the school in 2006 as he had alleged. Maritim told the court that the 2006 enrollment records did not show Sudi's name registered as a student there. Sudi is charged with forging a diploma certificate in business management from the Kenya Institute of Management, KIM, and a KCSE certificate where he claims he sat for the exam at Highway Secondary School in Nairobi. Today's court mention proceeded despite Sudi's absence for the second consecutive time on claims that he was unwell. Yesterday, the court had been told that Sudi was out of the jurisdiction and had traveled to Turkey for medical treatment, but trial magistrate Felix Kombo directed his lawyers to tender evidence. And today, the lawyers told the court that Sudi is actually in Eldoret as he had allegedly missed his flight.
Within this time, so could you kindly indulge us a bit? I'm surprised she doesn't know what's going on, and so neither do you. You don't know much, so I don't know. I am going to. I'm determined that these witnesses should not go back and hurt today, whatever happens.
I only have, I was only getting instruction that he was giving me that.
Yes, Austin, I believe this one. I never actually confirmed on that, and I don't want to confirm to the court that he's a doctor or not, because even if yes.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has suspended High Court Judge Said Chitembwe to pave the way for investigations against him on allegations of gross misconduct. President Uhuru Kenyatta has appointed a tribunal upon receiving a petition by the Judicial Service Commission, JSC, which recommended that the judge be probed. The statement from the head of public service, Joseph Kinyua, indicated that the lead counsel in the tribunal will be Senior Counsel Kirago Kimani, assisted by Joseph Gitonga Riungo and Edward Omoti Nyang'au. Grace Wangoi has the details.
The woes of embattled High Court Judge Said Chitembwe have increased after President Uhuru Kenyatta suspended him to pave way for investigations against him on allegations of gross misconduct. Chitembwe's troubles began late last year after former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko shared videos on social media accusing the judge of taking bribes. The matter brought to light by the leaked videos dubbed "The Rot in the Kenyan Judiciary" posed the question of integrity on the part of the judge, and not too long after that, petitions against him were filed. 4 petitions were filed by former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, Francis Wamboa, Imgrad Gay, and David Lebo Ole Kilusu, seeking the removal of the judge from office for being involved in bribery in land disputes he had handled. On May 4th, the Judicial Service Commission, JSC, recommended the suspension of Chitembwe and asked President Uhuru Kenyatta to form a tribunal that will investigate the allegations. According to Article 168 of the Constitution, a judge may be removed from office on grounds of their inability to perform the functions of office arising from mental or physical incapacity, a breach of code of conduct, bankruptcy, incompetence, or gross misconduct. Those appointed to the tribunal, which will be chaired by Lady Justice Mumbi Ngugi, include Senior Counsel Dr. Fred N. Ojiambo, Lady Justice Abida Ali Aroni, Justice Nzioki wa Macau, James Ochieng Oduol, Jackson W. Ndongo, and Dr. Lydia Nzomo. Further, the lead counsel in the tribunal will be Senior Counsel Kirago Kimani, assisted by Joseph Hitonga Riongo and David Omoti Nyang'au, while joint secretaries for the team will be Jasper M. Buki and Sarah Yamo.
It's not that I don't have people who can be my referees, but
Grace Wangoi for TV News Watch.
Thank you, Grace, for that report. Now, the Dialogue Reference Group, which brings together religious leaders across the country, has challenged state officers, including President Uhuru Kenyatta, to stay out of politics as the country approaches the general elections. Religious leaders from the Catholic Church, the Evangelical Alliance, NCCK, the Muslim and Hindu community, say they will ensure none of the candidates accuses the state of tampering with the election results in favor of another candidate. The religious leaders have also asked politicians to accept election results and take all election disputes before the courts after the August 9th polls for the sake of the country's peace and tranquility.
Wakenya wameungana na sisi zote tumesema team captain wetu awe ni Raila Amolo Odinga.
President Uhuru Kenyatta's open support for the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance coalition ahead of the August 9th general elections has caught the attention of religious leaders in the country.
We have noted with concern
the Dialogue Reference Group, which comprises religious leaders from various religions in the country, wants all state officers to stop engaging in politics in a bid to prevent incidents of one political group accusing the government of favoring the other, a move that may result in election violence.
We continue to urge our president, as a symbol of national unity, to balance his right to support a candidate of his choice with a duty to assure all Kenyans that the state will not unduly influence the electoral process.
We have noted with concern that the involvement of state officers in partisan politics in this season has a potential to either cause conflict or to make the results of this election not objective as it ought to be.
Cabinet Secretaries Peter Munya, Margaret Kobia, Joe Mushiru and Dr. Fred Matiang'i have been spotted in Azimio functions, a move that has strongly been criticized by Azimio rivals.
All state officers, CSS, PSS, they are chairmen of corporations, they are CEOs of state corporations, and all that line are people who serve in government as civil servants or state officers. The president is a politician and he has a right to participate and to support whoever he chooses to do that. But we have asked him to kindly consider that is a symbol of national unity.
Led by the Archbishop Martin Kivuva, who is the chairman of the Dialogue Reference Group, Nelson Makanda from the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya, and Alhaj Nado of Supkem. The leaders also challenged relevant institutions tasked with securing the election to ensure political actors do not disparage electoral and judicial institutions.
We call upon electoral institutions to execute their mandate expeditiously and impartially.
The clashes, violence and killings in Marsabit, Isiolo, Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, West Pokot, Turkana, Mombasa and Lamu counties, among others, is unacceptable.
The men and women of cloth addressed the press in Nairobi as the Independent Electoral and Morals Commission IEBC prepares to hold a pre-nomination meeting with all the 55 presidential aspirants on Wednesday, May 23rd, as preparation for the August elections enters home stretch. The meeting at the Bomas of Kenya from 8 a.m., chaired by the chairman Wafula Chebukati, will see the presidential aspirants briefed of the requirements and all the procedures for registration of candidates before all the aspirants are registered to contest for various elective seats, an exercise that will run from May 29th to June 7th.
That as Kenyans, we must demand that all aspirants accept the results announced by IEBC or seek redress in court if aggrieved.
Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV News Watch.
Much appreciated, Dickens, for that report. Still in politics, Deputy President William Ruto has said that his bottom-up economic model is going to be about changing the economy to empower and improve the livelihoods of every citizen in the country. Speaking during the bottom-up economic forum at the Rift Valley Sports Club, Nakuru County, Ruto, who is also the Kenya Kwanza presidential flag bearer, said their focus is on changing the economy, blaming their competitors for focusing on political positions and changing the constitution.
I want to say as Kenya Kwanza, we are not going for politics of personalities and what will benefit a few individuals. We want to prosecute the politics of our country on the basis of issues and ideas and that which will benefit the millions of the people of the great Republic of Kenya. So as our friends concentrate on personalities, we want to tell them the people of Kenya want to hear ideas on how Kenya wants to go forward. Mambo ya kilimo, mambo ya viazi, mambo ya kahawa, mambo ya maziwa, mambo ya karoti huko Njoro, mambo ya ngano, mambo ya habari, mambo ya minji, ndio serikali yetu ya Kenya Kwanza ishughulikie mambo ya guaranteed minimum return.
And this reverse is going to be the modus of operation for our government. Ya kwamba wherever we plan anything, mwananchi lazima ahusishwe, ajue, aelewe, akubali, ndio tufanye kazi yetu.
Tunataka kura iwe ile ya ajabu, tunataka ushindi kwa raundi ya kwanza. Ya gavana iwe raundi ya kwanza na ya president hiyo tunahesabu iwe round 1. Round 1.
Now, independent presidential aspirant Mathiora Karriera has kicked off a cycling expedition from Nairobi City to Kericho County to encourage Team Mathiora Karriera for president. Volunteers across the country to not tire or get weary until he is elected president on the 9th of August. The youthful politician led his campaign team from Kawangware area on Thursday to Kericho, saying the choice of Kericho County is inspired by the fact that in 2007, during the post-election violence, he, alongside his family, were violently evicted from Kedowa in Kericho County. Their property was looted while their home and businesses were burned.
We have the pleasure to launch our thank you trip, by which we are doing on bicycles today, cycling from here at the Great Nationhood headquarters, the home of the Mathiora Karriera Presidential Campaign Secretariat. We'll be cycling all the way to Kericho County. Our final stop will be Kericho. We are doing this to encourage all the volunteers out there giving their time, making an effort to support Mathiora Karriera for president. Do not tire, do not wear out. Let us focus on bringing this home on the 9th of August.
Education has been intensified. Education has been identified as one of the major sectors that have been adversely affected by the harsh economic times in the country. School dropouts have risen while plans by the government to achieve 100% student transition from primary to secondary have not materialized due to lack of school fees. However, the national government and the Equity Bank, through its Elimu Scholarship Program, has come to the rescue of the bright students from needy families.
COVID-19 pandemic has been a disaster that has affected thousands of families. From lack of job losses leading to lack of school fees is a nightmare to many families. In Gilgil sub-county, the harsh weather coupled by job losses among parents and guardians have adversely impacted learning. According to Gilgil MP Martha Wangari, hundreds of bright students from needy families were still at home 2 weeks after school reopened. She noted the area CDF could not cope with all the requests for bursaries leading to the current crisis mainly in the informal settlement.
Changamoto za hii mwaka imekuwa ngumu zaidi. Sisi katika CDF tumeweza kuchukua watoto 11, najua Equity pia wamechukua 8, sasa elimu imechukua watoto 21. Kwa hivyo wametupiga jeki kubwa sana katika kuhakikisha kwamba tumetoa watoto wetu manyumbani wasihangaikie huko na wanaenda shule ambazo ni boarding schools ambazo ni za mabweni. Ndio hao watoto katika miaka 4 ijayo watakuwa kitoa nafasi za kusema vile wameweza kuperform na vile wamefanya.
Speaking in Gilgil Township commended the national government and Equity Bank for sponsoring 21 needy students to join secondary school through the Elimu scholarship. And while receiving tax boosts from Rotary and Barbados government, Wangari noted that this would go a long way in nurturing the culture of learning.
Wakipewa ufadhili wanaweza kusahau shida za nyumbani, wana focus na masomo na inakuwa ni rahisi. Na mimi hiyo naweza sema sababu imewezekana na hiyo timu ya kwanza, hata hii timu sina shaka watakuwa wakiweza kuperform vizuri, waende universities ndio ufadhili uendelee, sababu wasipoenda university na ufadhili utakatika.
On his part, James Kishana, the manager of Equity Bank, Gilgil branch, said that the Elimu scholarship had identified 21 students from needy families. He termed the selection as free and fair, adding that the majority of the beneficiaries were students living in informal settlements in the town.
As a bank, we stand to continue empowering and changing the livelihood of our people through education. This year, we have been able to select 9,000 kids through Elimu scholarship and 1,000 through Equity Wings to Fly program. That makes a total of 10,000.
Sikuwa nimeenda shule juu mama hakuwa na pesa, hakupata school fees. Nafurahia juu nilichukuliwa na Equity, nitasoma.
Dolly Mirigi, Hope TV.
Thank you, Dolly, for that report. Let's take our first break on News Watch tonight. We have plenty more news after the break. Don't go too far.
TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. Let's continue. This year's Madaraka Day will be uniquely celebrated at the refurbished Uhuru Gardens along Langata Road in Nairobi. Speaking during a briefing on the preparations for the day, Interior Principal Secretary Dr. Karanja Kibicho said the day will be marked nationally in Nairobi, as is the last Madaraka Day presided by the current Jubilee administration. Karanja says a lot has been lined up for the day, where 30,000 Kenyans are expected to attend. The military is also expected to showcase its prowess and glory at the ceremony.
We are satisfied that within the few remaining days, we will be able to pull out a very colorful Madaraka Day celebration, which is a very special Madaraka Day celebration because it will mark the last Madaraka Day celebration for this regime, because as you are aware, we are going into an election. So we are putting our best foot forward to ensure that it's the best ever. We decided that this one is very important. We need to showcase some things from our military, from our security services, and therefore we agreed we hold it here at Uhuru Gardens, a garden that is not new to you because this is where we were also in Jamhuri Day. So by and large, just want to report satisfaction from the celebrations committee and say that we will have a successful day.
Now, the Narok ODM gubernatorial candidate Moitalel Olekenta has today appointed William Oltetia, who hails from the Maasai community, to be his running mate. Oltetia, who holds a master's degree in marketing and human resource and Bachelor of Commerce in accounting, has vast experience in economic matters. Kenta, while announcing his running mate, said he had named Oltetia because of his rich experience in economics, alleging that the current administration has squandered the county's resources, making the residents poorer. In his acceptance speech, Oltetia said he was well versed with the challenges affecting the Narok County, committing to putting all his energy to boost the county's economy. The duo will be facing off the United Democratic Alliance aspirant, former Labour Chief Administrative Secretary Patrick Ntutu, who nominated a 29-year-old civic engineer Kipkirui Ruto to be his running mate.
Narok iko na shida mingi na sasa tutatatua. Ndio tumesema tupate viongozi ambao wanajua shida ya wananchi. Tutapata uongozi ambayo sio uongozi wa kupora, sio uongozi wa kukula dawa ya hospitali, sio uongozi ya kukula barabara za wananchi, ya kukula maji na kukula mistuni na kukula kila kitu. Ni uongozi wa kurudisha haki kwa jamii ya Narok kwa jumla.
Nimekubali nafasi hii kwamba nimeteuliwa na Mheshimiwa Kenta kama mdogo wake. Nimekubali na nitaenda kutumikia kaunti hii kwa haki na kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mmoja wetu amepata haki yake.
And Kitui gubernatorial opponents Governor Charity Ngilu and former Senator David Musila have vowed to join hands in rallying the Kitui electorate behind Raila Odinga's presidency bid in the countdown to August polls. Addressing journalists after an IEBC meeting with Kitui County aspirants at Kitui Multipurpose Hall, the duo said the region's bid to be in national government superseded their ambitions for the county's top job. Ngilu emphasized that their main focus was to deliver a decisive win for Raila's quest for Kenya's highest office.
We are both candidates of Azimio la Umoja. He's running as governor of Kitui on Jubilee ticket. I'm running on NAC ticket. And all those two parties are in Azimio. The other party is UDA is our competitor, and the other party is Wiper. And the Wiper has disengaged and said that they are not part of Azimio. So we, the two candidates, gubernatorial candidates for Azimio, must continuously consult. We are not enemies at all. We first and foremost want to make sure that we are going to win the national government, and we are both campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga.
We are Azimio candidates. We will respect one another in our campaigns and also campaign for the presidential candidate for Azimio. And as she says, we are the only two Azimio candidates, and therefore that suggests that we must be friendly. Therefore, there will be friendly fire in between the two of us, I think. And that's why we are standing here to consult as members of one political union.
The Media Council of Kenya has issued a statement expressing concern over the increasing incidents of profiling and threats to individual journalists and media outlets by politicians related to the 2022 general election campaigns. The council is disturbed that such threats are likely to incite the public and political supporters against the media and may thus expose journalists and media practitioners to violations of their rights as they go about their rightful duties. Attacks against and intimidation of the media contravenes Articles 34 and 35 of the Constitution on the freedom of media and access to information. The Council has since January 2022 documented 45 cases of press freedom violations, most of them related to electioneering and political campaigns. The Council has encouraged Kenyans and particularly politicians who feel aggrieved by the conduct of the media to seek redress through the Media Complaints Commission, which is established under the Media Council Act 213 to address media-related disputes. Moving on to Uasin Gishu politics, Uasin Gishu County gubernatorial aspirant Zedekiah Kiprop alias Buzeki has promised that his government will prioritize the interests of persons with disabilities. Speaking on Thursday during a campaign trail in Chembulet and Solayat areas in Moiben and Ainaboi sub-counties respectively, Buzeki said that he would establish a county disability fund to help PLWDs meet some societal challenges. Buzeki, vying on an independent ticket, added that during his tenure in office, he would ensure that all the monies from the National Treasury meant for the PWDs would serve their intended purposes.
Nataka niambie walemavu wote Uasin Gishu, wale hawajui biashara, kama hiyo 5% ni mingi hamwezi kumaliza, tutatafuta wengine wenyu wenye wajui kufanya biashara, tuwafunze walemavu wajue kufanya biashara, kwa sababu lazima nihakikishe hiyo pesa ambaye katiba ya Kenya imesema mpewe, lazima mupatiwe hiyo pesa yote. 5% iende kwa walemavu, kwa sababu ni wazazi wetu, ni watoto wetu, ni watu wa jamii yetu, na pia wanaweza kuchangia pakubwa kwa uchumi. Wanasema disability is not inability.
Moving on, donkey stakeholders in Kamulu and Ruai in Kasarani sub-county have raised concern over continued mistreatment and overworking of donkeys, which sometimes cause their deaths and disease infections. During a donkey clinic at stage 26 in Ruai yesterday, it was noticed that most of the donkeys there had big wounds on their backs, necks and legs, mostly from being forced to carry heavy loads. Led by Kendat representative Samatha Opere, they said the suffering most donkeys in the area go through is untold as they work without rest, transporting hardware materials and supplying water.
Nilipoteza punda mingi sana, hata mimi nilipoteza zangu 2. Lakini sasa tangu hiyo vichinjo sikomeshwe, niliweza kurudisha na sasa niko na punda 3, niko na vijana 2 na mimi tunafanya kazi. Nashukuru sana kwa sababu hao vijana sasa wakishafanya kazi the whole day, hawatafikiria njia mbaya, watakuwa wamechoka na kesho watafikiria wanaamkia ile kazi.
Mimi niko na punda 3 na nimefanya nayo kazi kutoka 2006 mpaka saa hizi. Na hiyo punda wakati tulianza kufanya nayo kazi hapa ilikuwa kama jangwani. Nilikuwa nasaidia watu kubeba maji na kusaidia watu kubeba mzigo. Wakati hiyo nilikuwa kwa nyumba ile watu walinipea, nilikuwa kama watchman. Hiyo punda ndiyo ilibidi nikanunua plot, na hiyo punda ndiyo ilibidi nikajenga, na hiyo punda ndiyo ilibidi nikasomesha watoto yangu.
Tulikuwa na madaktari tofauti na wanyama hawakuangi na ugonjwa, wanakuwa na ugonjwa tofauti. Kuna wale wana vidonda, anatibiwa hizo vidonda, na kuna ule anaonekana anahitaji kupewa dawa ya minyoo, pia anapewa, na hata kuna vitamin, kuna zile zinatakiwa kupewa vitamin. Sasa kulingana na punda yako ni nini anahitaji. Kwa hivyo zimetibia kulingana na vile punda yako, na pia hata tunaangalianga size ya mnyama. Atutibu daktari atibu mnyama kulingana kwa sababu yeye ni mgonjwa. Anaangalia hata size. Hiyo punda ni figure what. Unasikianga watu wakisema figure 8.
concerned that the donkeys in this area are being overworked because of the demand for services that they're offering. So there are donkeys that are taking hardware material to the construction sites, and there are donkeys that are supplying water in the different areas, homesteads and shops around the area. So for us, we've noted that when they have the poor harnessing and the high demand for work, then the wounds tend to be a bit more. We understand that they're working along a busy road, so you may identify some of them being, or may notice some of them being beaten. So we've worked with them to make sure that they change the type of material they're using to guide the donkey.
A good cause indeed. Donkeys need to be treated with the care that they deserve. Moving on, a national government administrative officer in Kilifi County has threatened to arrest and lock up female beneficiaries of the Elimu Scholarship Program who get pregnant while in school. Angela Wafula, the Malindi Assistant County Commissioner, said the government had invested a lot of money to sponsor bright students from poor backgrounds with a view to changing their lives and would not tolerate indiscipline among the beneficiaries. Speaking at the Catholic Institute in Malindi town during the flagging off of 269 Elimu Scholarship and 8 Wings to Fly beneficiaries from Malindi and Magarini sub-counties, the administrator said it was painful to see school girls getting pregnant.
Sisi kama ofisi ya national government, kazi yetu ni kufuatilia kuona kuwa pesa zozote za serikali zimetumiwa vizuri. Tutakuja hata kwenu kwenye maboma. Si mnajua wazee wa vijiji wako pale? Hiyo bado ni ofisi ya DC. Na watatuambia ule msichana wa fulani ambaye alilipiwa fees amepata mimba. Nitakuja kukuweka ndani, kusema kweli. Ni uchungu sana. Kuna mtoto ameachwa kwa sababu pesa ingetosha kila mtu, sio? Haingetosha kila mtu. Kuna mtoto ameachwa, wewe ukachukuliwa, unaenda unapata mimba, unaharibu pesa ya serikali na maisha yako inaishia hapo. Unapata kijana mdogo amefika shuleni sababu amelipiwa kila kitu. Ile kidogo 50 ile mzazi amempatia pocket money, anaenda anaanza kununua bangi. Anavuta bangi shuleni. Tumewaona wengi. Na mtoto mwingine ameachwa ambaye angelipiwa na asome. Tafadhali wanafunzi nawaambia, endeni shuleni, msome, mujichunge, muwe wenye nidhamu, na mkirudi mkuje mtuambie DC, mimi nimerudi na nime.
Now, Coast Development Authority, in collaboration with stakeholders in environmental and water management sectors, has kicked off a tree planting exercise in Kasemeni division of Kwale County as part of a strategic campaign to increase forest cover to 10% by the year 2022. Spearheading the reforestation exercise, Coast Development Authority Managing Director Dr. Mohamed Kainan says the exercise is aimed at increasing the forest cover along the water catchment areas of Mwache Dam. The initiative also targets schools, government office compounds and community compounds in an effort to increase forest cover in the county to at least 10% in line with the global figures to reduce the impact of climate change.
As national government, this is a national government project. We have been in collaboration with the Ministry of Water and CDA team to make sure that all the lands has been secured. And still, we are going also to make sure through the area chiefs, this is the assistant chief and this is the chief, going down to the village elders, to Nyumba Kumi elders and all the clusters to make sure that all the seedlings that we plant are protected. So we must make sure that community awareness, the importance of the trees, the importance of this catchment area, and we will make sure we have protected the area during our time here in order for to deliver national government agenda.
Within this year, we expect to do almost 100,000 tree planting within the catchment area, the Mwache catchment area, at least so that we can at least achieve our target. From the start of the project, that is 4 years ago, we have done up to 300,000 seedlings on the catchment area of Mache are different RUA, water resource user associations. And this season, we expect to place up to 69,000 seedlings within the catchment region. These are start. I think on this side, we are going to put we are going to put up to 2,500 for today. I know we had a similar activity within the start of this week, especially at the dam site, where we placed close to 3,000 seedlings.
Across our borders, Africa's main oil producers and exporters have met in Luanda, the Angolan capital, seeking solutions to increase investment in the oil sector and the energy transition. The lack of investment in Africa's oil and gas sector over the past few years has led to a sharp decline in production. With the sanctions on Russian energy, OPEC and its allies have set a target to meet a larger share of the global market. In March, Angola and Nigeria, according to OPEC data, accounted for almost half of the deficit in oil supply to the global market.
A lot of things have been happening in the world today to make us believe that they are not serious about energy transition, because when their national interest, their energy security is threatened, they forget energy transition and they come asking for more oil and gas and even coal.
No doubt the geopolitical tension between Russia and Ukraine has caused supply disruptions in the market, and therefore there is shortage of supply into the market. But it doesn't affect Nigeria because we have high-grade crude oil that is always required by the market for blending to other crude oil production in the world.
Russia's defense ministry has claimed that 1,730 Ukrainian soldiers have surrendered this week at the besieged Azovstal steel plant in Ukraine port city of Mariupol. The ultimate outcome of Europe's bloodiest battle for decades remained publicly unresolved, with no confirmation of the fate of the hundreds of Ukrainian troops who had held out in a vast steelwork at the end of a near 3-month siege. Ukraine has indicated that it will seek a prisoner swap for fighters who surrendered at Azovstal, but Russia has yet to give a definitive answer to the issue. I beg your pardon. Moving on to India, more than 500,000 people have fled their homes in India's northeastern state of Assam to escape heavy floods triggered by pre-monsoon rains that drowned 7, authorities said on Wednesday, as they warned the situation could worsen. One of the world's largest rivers, the Brahmaputra, which flows into India and neighboring Bangladesh from Tibet, burst its banks in Assam over the past 3 days. More than 1,500 villages were submerged. Torrential rains lashed most of the rugged state, and the downpour continued on Wednesday, with more forecast over the next 2 days. On that note, let's take another break on Newswatch. We have business news coming up.
Hope TV is now available on GoTV Channel 103, Zuku Channel 873, Signet Channel 817 and StarTimes Channel 026. Enjoy our uplifting content and family-friendly programming anytime. Hope TV, you look and live.
Gather your family together to see
Superbook!
Come explore with Chris,
Awesome!
Joy,
Where are we?
and Gizmo as they journey back in time.
You have done evil in the sight of the Lord. You have built temples and altars to the false god Baal.
I see 4 men walking around in the fire unharmed.
It appears we are now in ancient Persia, 5th century BC.
There'll be action, fun,
Here we come! All right!
and plenty of adventure.
Superbook!
Welcome back. In business, as part of the Kenya-UK strategic partnership, the UK and Kenyan government have today launched the final design of Nairobi's new central railway station and public realm. The new design, which was completed by Atkins UK and handed over to Kenya Railways and the Ministry of Transport, is part of the wider Nairobi Railway City Development Program. The project will be situated within 425 acres, of which 292 acres is owned by the Kenya Railways and currently serving as the Nairobi Railway Station. The Nairobi Railway City is expected to be a world-class climate-resilient project, delivering transport capacity to sustain future growth and lay the foundations for a green city of the future.
On behalf of Kenya Railways, we are grateful and overwhelmed by the auspicious occasion of the realization of Phase 1 of our project, the Railway City, and in particular to launch and hand over the final design of the new central station, our Boma. Kenya Railways has embarked on a rapid rehabilitation and expansion of our services to the peoples of Kenya.
The Nairobi Railway City project seeks to establish a new heart for the betterment of Nairobi in alignment with our vision for Nairobi City County. In partnership with Kenya Railways, one of the NMS support roles has been to ensure that the integrated urban areas and cities development plan that inform the Nairobi Integrated Urban Development Plan are affected seamlessly in the Nairobi Railway Implementation Plan and aligning all of the city development with some of the key outcomes from the UN climate change talks that were held in Glasgow.
Cities have always been the engine of change in every country. It's certainly the case in the UK, and I'm sure and can see that it's the case here. And the challenge for cities today is not just to be that engine of growth, of jobs and prosperity, but also to be a change in a way that can be smarter, cleaner, greener, and make sure that cities are brilliant places for people to live. And what's sort of interesting about this project, and Deputy High Commissioner touched on it, is that the conversation you're clearly having here in Nairobi is exactly the same conversation we've had in the UK about London and elsewhere. It's been our big railway sites, some of our former industrial sites. I don't think any of them quite as big as this. I think King's Cross that you referred to is, I think this is 4 times that size. But the point is still there, that these big areas of sort of former transportation and industrial use can be massive engines of change in a city, and it's really, really exciting to be working on that together. And I think that is part of the reason why I'm really, really pleased that the UK and Kenya have been able to work on this project, because I'm sure that we have learnt a lot from each other and will learn more as we go on.
Still in business, farmers in parts of Nakuru have expressed concern of an acute shortage of subsidized fertilizer. They noted that this has impacted planting season, with fears of a food shortage at the end of this season due to the rise in the cost of farm inputs. 3 months ago, the government introduced subsidized fertilizer, but the scheme has reportedly failed, with farmers across the country unable to access it. Early in the month, President Uhuru Kenyatta attributed the rise in prices of fuel and fertilizer to the war in Ukraine, noting that the government was keen to cushion farmers.
Kweli tulikuwa na shida kubwa sana wakati wa kiangazi, sababu hakuna kitu chochote kikatoka ndani ya shamba. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa na shida kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo tunamshukuru Mungu sababu mvua sasa imenyesha. Mahindi imemea, tunafalilia. Na tunayo hope ya kwamba next year tutakuwa na mafuno.
Wakati kulikuwa kunyesha, kulikuwa na hali mbaya ambapo mpaka mboga za kukula zilikuwa ni shida, maji pia ilikuwa ni shida. Kwa hivyo hakuna watu wangeweza kuingia katika ukulima. Lakini kwa wakati huu tuko sawa, sababu unaona mvua imenyesha, mahindi ni kubwa. Viazi yenyewe ziko na matarajio, tunatarajia kitu.
Fertilizer kwanza ndio iko juu sana, na sasa tulikuwa naomba kama tunaweza kuagusiwa kidogo, sababu hata wengine wanapanda bila fertilizer. Sasa ndio tunaomba Mungu awaguse wakubwa, ndio wagusie fertilizer.
And Nakuru County is hosting institutions and bee farmers, joining the rest of the world in celebrating World Bee Day at Nyayo Gardens, Nakuru City. The three-day celebration began with an apiculture excursion held in Baraka Agricultural College, Molo Sub-County. The excursion was aimed at sharing ideas on beekeeping management, beehive designs, setting of beehives in bee houses, and open apiaries and parasite control mechanisms. The ceremony continued today as stakeholders train farmers on the most efficient ways of beekeeping management, different technologies, honey products, and beekeeping gear and equipment. World Bee Day is celebrated on May 20th, which is when the pioneer of beekeeping was born. The purpose of the International Day is to acknowledge the role of bees and other pollinators in the ecosystem. And in sports, Stephen Curry scored 21 points as the Golden State Warriors bottled up Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks to win their Western Conference Final Series opener 112-87 on Wednesday. The Warriors were not one of the favorites to come out of the West at the beginning of the season, but a hot start to their 2021-2022 campaign ensured they returned to their status as one of the most feared teams, as Steph Curry also found some of his MVP form. Game 2 of the series will take place in San Francisco on Friday, where the winner of the Western Conference Finals will play the winner of the Eastern Conference, either in Boston or Miami, in the NBA Finals. And Eintracht Frankfurt defeated Rangers 5-4 on penalties to win the Europa League on Wednesday night, after the final in Seville finished 1-1 at the end of extra time. Aaron Ramsey missed for Rangers in the shootout after coming on as a substitute with only 3 minutes left of extra time before Rafael Borre struck the winning shot to complete Frankfurt's remarkable triumph. We have come to the end of Newswatch Tonight. On behalf of the whole team that has made this bulletin a success, thank you for watching. Have a good night and be blessed. Also enjoy the rest of our programming.